Yo, it's your boy, Let 'em know Zoe. I'm back with another video. Today I want to talk about Kevin Hart, okay? He had a show scheduled to be in Cairo, Egypt. It was going to be a stand-up show. His first show out there, actually. But things didn't quite go as planned. And that is because the show wound up getting canceled for what the venue claimed to be logistical reasons. But in reality, the reason that the show was canceled was because of some remarks that Kevin Hart made regarding Egypt and its history. Now, what I'm about to say is somewhat common knowledge. I mean, at least in my opinion, kind of common sense. But what Kevin Hart said about Egypt is that the ancient people of that nation, the ancient Egyptians, were all like black, like African people. And you would think that for a country in Africa to have black people or African people or black, whichever one you prefer, is really common sense. It's nothing crazy. Like, that's what you would expect. Like, everybody knows that Africa is the continent of black people. So why would it be strange to think that further back in the past, at some point in a country in Africa, that there were black people? Why is that strange? What's weird about that? But the thing that really made that comment so poorly received by Egypt is more than likely the fact that today Egypt is populated by a very, very large Arab population. And if I'm not mistaken, Egypt is actually home to the largest Arab population in the Arab world. Like, out of all the countries that speak Arabic, that are home to people of Arabic heritage and things like that, I do believe that Egypt actually has the most of them out of all the countries. So if you know anything about Arabs, they are typically mixed race people. I mean, they come in all different types of various shades and phenotypes and hair textures and all that. There are black Arabs, there are white Arabs, there are, like I just said, mixed Arabs, the ones who kind of have like the brown eyes or the dark brown eyes, tan skin, black hair of various textures, straight, wavy, curly, like you name it, it's there. And so, yeah, kind of the ones who are mostly inhabiting and basically controlling Egypt today are those Arabic Egyptians who are not black. So when you make such a statement about a country that is not really identifying itself as black, and you tell them that your ancestors, your forefathers are black people, they get offended because I think obviously the number one reason first is that, I mean, this may not have been something that was so much in the limelight before as it is now, but based on Egypt's reaction, that kind of made it clear that Egypt, or at least a portion of Egyptians, are anti-black or anti-African, but probably just anti-black would work. Um, and that's so strange to me because it's like Egypt is literally a country within Africa, the continent of Africa, which, like I just said, is basically the continent of black people. I mean, of course, all Africans are not black, but I'm pretty sure that a vast majority of them are. Like, I don't know anything about any uh, proportions or percentages or things like that, but I do know that a very, very large chunk of African people, based on the way they look, would be considered to be black people. So for Egypt to say that they are angered by Kevin Hart's remarks, so much so to the point where they would cancel his show and give everybody refunds, because I'm pretty sure that was going to be a sold out show, because Kevin Hart is a very big, very famous comedian from America, but he's well known and well received all over the world, except Egypt now, I guess. They were not too fond of his remarks, and I think that's unfortunate because honestly, I think that is kind of an indication of their history a little bit, because you might be asking yourself, if Kevin Hart said that ancient Egyptians were black, then why aren't they black today? And that's partially true because there are still plenty of black people in Egypt, but the people who are there now, all of them are not black. Not a vast majority, but a large handful of them are not black. They are the Arabs that are basically mixed race people who are not black, who are kind of leaning a little bit more towards, I guess you could say, European phenotypes. But it's still clear that they have like a little bit of, they draw ancestry from both the black Africans and the white Europeans. So they have a bit of a distinct look from black people. So that's probably why they wouldn't want to be called black, because they don't look it. And quite frankly, they feel like it's something to be looked down upon. And that's, it's sad, but that's the world that we live in, where to be called black is an insult because of just the hatred in different people's hearts and the mindsets that so many different people hold regarding the concept or the social construct or the look of blackness. People are just not fans of that, and Egyptians made it especially clear that they are some of those people. So yeah, like I said, Kevin Hart's show was canceled because he said ancient Egyptians were black, and they were very against that because they said that he had Afrocentric views, and they were not fans of that at all. And it's actually kind of funny now that I think about it. How is an African country angry at somebody for having Afrocentric views? Like, that statement itself is literally like an oxymoron. It makes no sense. Like, try to wrap your mind around that. But yeah, it's just it's unfortunate that his comments were received in such a negative way. But the reality is, it's true. Everything he said was true. Ancient Egyptians, you go back a couple hundred years, a couple thousand years, they were black people. Honestly, the Arabs, if I'm not mistaken, the Arabs who are there today are residing there as a result of a sort of series of invasions. And now that they have kind of basically claimed victory. They've made their home in the country, and now anything that doesn't cater to them, anything that doesn't center them, they're naturally going to oppose it. So the people who are there, they don't claim blackness, which basically makes sense because they're not black. But how can you say that your ancestors and your forefathers are not black when literally you can go inside of any pyramid in Egypt and the artwork on the walls is going to depict black skinned and brown skinned and copper skinned people of all these various shades of melanin, like mine. Honestly, like, I'm pretty sure there were no white people in Egypt like 2,000-3,000 years ago, or even probably 200 or 300 years ago, honestly. So yeah, Kevin Hart learned his lesson. He's, I guess, basically been blacklisted, no pun intended, in Egypt. And yeah, I guess you really got to know who you're dealing with. You got to know your audience before you make certain comments, so people don't get offended. So you can stay on people's good sides. But ultimately, just this seemed to have been a lesson that Kevin Hart just had to learn the hard way. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy. Let him know Zoe. I'm out.